in and I like to eat too. I will start singing a song before I get here. Welcome to the Spiela Day QA. I'm going to be joined by Ivy Kayima, who is in fact my sister. Hello, Gina. JB, what's going on? Hello. I'm going to be joined here live by my sister. Sorry, JB, Gina. Yeah, just got to shout out to my bibs, I need to invite Ivy. So this is a sibling edition. She needs to find this place. I don't know, you could do emojis on this live. Look. Alright. I don't like you too, my dear. So that makes it two of us. They're not understanding that you don't like me and I don't like you. So that makes it two of us. Okay, I'm just waiting to go live. I need to turn this off now. What's going on? Hello, 97. Just waiting for my sister. Hello, Shireen. Hello, Ivy. Alright, I think we'll be going live. Just waiting for it to connect. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, how are you?
Hi,
Hello,
Maya.
Hello, Ivy Kayima.
Hello, Ivan Kayima.
Oh, sorry, I'm playing with these effects. I didn't even know it was happening. Sorry. Let me
Can you
cancel
please be
this.
serious? It's a serious conversation
Yeah,
that we're
now
having
I'm
now.
trying to cancel it. Sorry. Come
Are you in the
on.
car?
Yeah. I might stay in that one. Sorry, guys. This is found it. All right. It's very unprofessional. Sorry, hold on. Okay, hi guys.
It's very
Hi. So
unprofessional.
we'll be starting in a minute. Ivy, could you please share out use the share link on yours to share to your some people?
How do I do that?
So you just press the arrow. You see the arrow on the bottom. It should be
Yeah. Then what do I do?
and then you just share it to those you want to see to join. We're just building the audience at the
Okay.
minute before we kick off.
I'll share
So
it. I'll share it
we're
now.
gonna kick off in a minute or so. But how
All
was
right,
your
hold
day?
on.
How's your day been?
Ivan, I've been with you the whole day, bro.
How's your day been? We have to keep professional.
Okay, yeah, it's been really good. I've been working, as you know, working on the presentation. That's about it, really.
I don't know what presentation you're talking about, but that sounds interesting. So before we
Oh,
start, Nasazi's here
wow.
as well. Hello, well, who's Nasazi? Is that?
Ivan, don't be stupid. It's our sister.
Oh,
Hi,
hi.
Danielle.
Hello, hi everybody. Hi, Nathan. Oh, wow, Nathan's here as well. Wow, everyone's come to see the brother sister edition. Oh, hello, Keely.
Ivan, relax because you're
Underscore
supposed to.
Gran. Hello, Keely
Hi,
underscore
Ash.
Granville. No, please stop begging it. And Nathan.
My fake twin. Oh, hello, darlings. That's Ash.
Hello,
Hi,
hello
babe.
everyone. Hello everyone. Hi, yes, Ivy. It's good to see you. You have so many friends in attendance. We'll be kicking off in.
Why are you sounding like that? But
We
okay.
have to be we're professional. All right, we're kicking off
Okay, okay.
in the next two
Professional.
no a minute. We'll kick off in a minute or so. Just wait, still
Okay,
building the audience. So if you please
okay.
carry on sharing until we go live.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'll do that now.
No worries. Hello, evolving gel, evolving Ellie. Yeah, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Evolving Ellie. Oh, sorry. I like the name. Hello, welcome. Hello, Nagawa, and hello everybody.
All
Okay.
right, I've shared it.
Thank you very much, Nakato. Yes. So, welcome to the Spiela Daily Q&A. I'm Ivan, the founder of Spiela, and I am joined here live by my sister, my twin sister. I'm 3 minutes
Hi.
older. Her name is Ivy Kayima. Also live is my big
Thanks for that.
sister, Nasazi Kayima. And
Yeah.
today I'll be interviewing my sister, finding out about herself, her journey, all the things that she's interested in, what she's passionate about,
I like it.
and welcome everybody for tuning in. So Ivy, the floor is yours. Mother will not be joining today. The floor is yours.
Mum's
Uh,
not joining.
no, well, she was just us two in the chat, isn't it? So
Okay, all right.
there's not a third option. But
Okay,
mother's here in spirit. So yes,
okay,
Ivy, if you care to speak to audience and to tell us about yourself and what you do, who you are.
okay. My name's Ivy Kayima. I'm Ivan's sister, twin sister, and I work in the space of diversity and inclusion, but I also work in recruitment. So it's two different things. So basically, I do diversity and inclusion, and that's ensuring that Black and Asian minority ethnics are given roles in tech companies. And then in terms of like my university recruitment, it's working for a company called Nutanix, where I go and I ensure that we source the right candidates for the roles, but it is also with the diversity and inclusion thing in mind. So everything that I do has an essence of diversity and inclusion. I also talk at different universities, and it's all about diversity and inclusion. So everything I do is in regards to ensuring that the workforce and the workplace is more diverse in terms of Black and Asian ethnic minorities. However, I would say that my main focus is Black people. That's it. So I work for Black people, basically.
And so what inspired your journey, Ivy? What inspired you and motivated you to want to go and pursue this path? I mean, I know, but can you, be kind enough as to tell the people
I'm
here?
being serious. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. What inspired me to get into diversity inclusion?
Diversity, inclusion, and kind of your career path, I guess.
Okay.
Because
So when I
Ivy was younger, she wanted to be a singer, and she wanted to be a dancer as well. She could pop lock everything, everything. But then, of course, time got on. I remember asking her at a point as well, Ivy, so you're singing, it's immaculate. Like, why are you not pursuing it anymore? And then she's about to say, I'm not sure. Maybe she wants to help the world. Ivy's always been someone who wants to help the world and help people. So, of course, sorry, Ivy, sorry for interrupting.
I feel like you're mocking it. So you're saying that I like to dance.
Yeah, and sing.
So I wanted to be a singer and a dancer. Yeah. Ivan, when?
When we was young.
Do you know what? I'm not going to get onto him because obviously this is his business page and this is his platform, innit? But if that's his version of events, that's his version of events, yeah? I wanted to get into diversity and inclusion because me and Ivan grew up on a block called Milford Towers. So if you're from South East London, then you know the block that we grew up on. And we lived with loads of cousins, so we were always like very much so involved in family and stuff. And our mum worked really, really hard. But we kind of saw like how our life changed when she changed professions. So when she changed professions, our lives changed. Ivan, I don't know if you would agree, but our lives changed, and
I would say, yeah, definitely. I mean, we were 7 of us in like the 2-bedroom in Milford Towers, weren't we? In Catford, in the block, Milford Towers, in very infamous block. Yeah.
Yeah. So when she got a better job, basically our lives got better. That's just let's just say it as it is. Like, we moved into our own place with our mum. We had better opportunities in terms of basically what we could do, and mum's giving side eye, but do you know what I mean? Like, it's our story, innit, Ivan?
Leave it out, mum.
Yeah, mum. But yeah, we had better opportunities, really. And I think that it just, for me, it showed that employment and social economic opportunities really open the doors for like what's available to you, what you can do. And money is the thing is, people that say money doesn't mean anything are not being serious. Like, you just can't be serious. Yeah, money is very, very important. I'm not saying it can buy happiness, but it can really change the trajectory of your life. And I feel like the problem is within the Black community is that we don't have an understanding around like what money can actually do in terms of movement and progression within your life. Like, at the end of the day, you need money. So, for example, our catchment area, the school that we could go to was instantly better because we moved. Number one.
Yeah, correct.
How would we have been able to get to the house if mummy didn't have no money, if we couldn't be moving anywhere? Money means a lot. Like, let's just stop it, yeah? Oh, money doesn't buy happiness. Guess what money can buy you? Opportunities. Yeah? A lot of the doors that have opened to me is because I've been the doors are open to me because opportunities have come to me because of where I've been in my life. So the position that I've been in my life. I went to Glasgow to do my master's. If I didn't have a scholarship, I wouldn't have raised my own money to do that master's. I wouldn't have met those people, and I wouldn't have had the opportunities that I had open to me in order for me to get this job that I'm in now. Like, everything is linked. So if we have, I think as Black people, we have this thing of where like,
sorry, your face is cutting. If you raise the camera up a bit.
We have this thing as Black people where we have this thing where it's like, oh, you either go 2 ways. You think that we need to just be like so rich and make so much money and just consume a lot, but there's no goal for it. Or we're on this thing of where you just work, and it's just a cycle, and you're not really going anywhere, but you're making ends meet. It's not enough. Like, you have to be smart about what you're making the money for. Does that make sense? And I feel like Black people do not have the social, economic opportunities, but even on top of that, they don't have the understanding. They don't have financial literacy. They don't know what's important. We were talking about.
Are you saying what inspired your journey was kind of like seeing within the Black community a lack of rationale in regards to how to spend money or what we can use money for? Is that what you're alluding to?
But let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it real here, yeah? If we didn't necessarily make a lot of money, not even though we had to make a lot of money, yeah? If we didn't move from where we lived for a certain period of time, would we be where we are now? Simple question. Would we? Like,
Nah, to be honest, Catford, as much as I like the place, had a lot of distractions. And when you
There's
grow up, it's
distractions.
interesting, as you said, when you grow up as a kid, all the things that you thought was just you normalize as a kid really isn't actually normal. Remember, like the
Thank
crash our friend's
you.
mum who was a crackhead that we thought was just normal. The drug dealers that would make us like chill by the door to guard the place, but literally we didn't
Yeah.
know
You think
it
it's
was a yacht.
normal.
You normalize kind of
But
these kind of
this is
behaviors
the
in this
thing though.
environment.
If you never leave, okay, granted, you may have like really good parents, yeah. You can have a really good support system. So they are anomalies in this. Like they are kind of people who do kind of like really, really outperform, but you can count those people, right? For the majority, yeah, we do become products of our environment, right? So if you never are out of that environment, how is it no longer your norm? Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
only because we were exposed to different people. So for example, we went to Northbrook, which was a school in Southeast London. It wasn't a good school. There were like
Not
people
at
bringing
all.
guns, etc., etc. It wasn't a good school, innit? But we thought that that's just how things were. Does that make sense? Like you just think that if you grow up in this kind of environment and people are acting a certain way, behaving a certain way, you think that that's just normal until you leave.
Yeah.
Until you leave. When you leave and you are surrounded by different types of people who think differently, whether that's in the workplace, whether that's in higher education, whether that's through your network that you make here, you realize, hold on a minute, this isn't normal. And hold on a minute, they can make more, we can make more money, we can achieve more. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like your environment has a lot to play into what you perceive as, I think it changes the trajectory of your life,
So
personally. And I think
knowing,
that
so
will start
knowing
young.
So knowing all of this and kind of realizing this at a young age that you did,
Yeah.
what inspired, so knowing you felt very passionate about this, what inspired you to actually say, okay, I want to get in HR. I want to, this is kind of the route I want to go towards, knowing what I know with this information. What made you want to pursue, become an HR professional?
All right, so I did my master's in human resource management. I can attest to this, 'cause I actually wanted to do my master's in African studies, but I spoke to my sister and my mum about it, and they were both like, don't be so ridiculous. Personally, for me, in it,
Why?
because they were
Why
just
not?
like,
Why was it
no,
ridiculous?
because the whole point of me doing my master's
I'm
was for
saying why,
me
like
to
I don't
kind of
know. I have to act shocked.
yeah, but you have to act like you don't know it. But the whole point of me doing my masters was to elevate my career, basically, right? And I wanted to do my masters for bands. This is what I mean about having money. I wanted to do my masters just because I was like, oh, I just want to learn. Like, I just want to be somebody that's enriched. And I've always admired people that were educated and knew what they were talking about. So when I wanted to do my masters, I wanted to do something that I really enjoyed and I really loved and da da da. But you know what? When you don't have that kind of disposable income, when that payment for that master's isn't just coming to you and it's not just free, you have to definitely have more strategy around what it is that you're trying to study, what it is that you're trying to do. Does that make sense? Because you don't have the freedom to just do what you want to do, because a master's not just going to come to you like that. So for
Yeah.
me, it was a stepping stone in my career, which would allow me to make more money. Now, at this point, if I want to do my master's, because I did something that I didn't really enjoy, right? At this point, I could do what I want. And that's the thing. I think that, like, as young people, as a generation, as Black people, we think that we have to be in this constant place of enjoyment. Like,
Yeah.
I have to enjoy what I'm doing. Otherwise, this whole rhetoric, yeah, this whole rhetoric. I have to enjoy what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'm not doing it. Or like everything has to listen. You're going to work jobs that you hate. Yeah, you're going to do things that you do. It's not a popular opinion, but it's the facts. Yeah, I didn't like doing my masters. I didn't want to be in Glasgow. Do you understand? Like, I didn't like it. Right? There was times where I felt like I just wanted to cry. I'm not the most academic person in terms of like writing things out, like in terms of essays and stuff like that. Like, I'm not the most academic, right? It takes a lot for me to kind of get where I need to get. So it's not easy for me, right? But the thing is, I know that stepping stones have to be made to reach the goal. It's a destination, yeah. It's a journey. Like, you're looking for the end thing. Do you know what I mean? But you're not going to get to the end thing without, everything's not going to just be hunky dory. It's not all supposed to be fun. Oh, if it's not fun, then I'm not doing it. That's how, like, the kids that I mentor act. And I'm like, where did you not get this rhetoric from? Like, you're not going to do things that you don't like to do to get to the place that you want to be. It's false. We
So
don't have that freedom. We
So you're
just
saying the
don't.
mentoring, so kind of your life experiences, the mentoring you did, that's what inspired you, seeing how people think and feel. You wanted to help those people. You wanted to kind of see
Yeah.
how can I help my community. So that's what kind of inspired you to go into HR purely for the passionate reasons that you're explaining now.
So check this. I used to work for a company. I
Windsor
used to work
Fellowship, yeah?
for a company called Windsor Fellowship.
Ah,
Yeah.
I knew. How did I know? How did I know it was Windsor
I used to
Fellowship?
work for a company called Windsor Fellowship. Yeah, Windsor Fellowship, I owe my life because it just changed my whole life, right? And Windsor Fellowship, its sole purpose is to ensure that BAME, Black, Asian, minority ethnics, were in corporations like the Bank of England, we're in corporations like the National Audit Service, we're in corporations like just basically government roles. So that's what Windsor Fellowship did. And that was my role. And I loved it, right? But when I was kind of like, and this is something that we want to bid to enable us to make sure that we get Black and Asian minority ethnics into this kind of these corporations. But this is in like 2015, 2016. So you're already thinking like, why are we already like, why do we have to have an initiative in the 21st century, yeah, to ensure that people like me work in your organizations? It's mad. Like, it's ludicrous. Like, if we actually deep it, it's obviously it's the anniversary today of obviously Stephen Lawrence's death and stuff, and we're just thinking like it's a reminder of how far we've come, but also how far we haven't come. Because if there's still initiatives in place that are saying that organizations need to have like people, there needs to be an organization to ensure that people that look like me can work there, that's a problem. Like, I was like, this is mad. And then at the same time, I was also tutoring kids in Bromley, so Bromley Council. So the majority of the kids in Bromley Council are white kids. They're middle class, right? And they are. So I was tutoring kids in. This is what happened. This is how mad it was. This is how mad my life was. So I'd work at Windsor Fellowship. I'd finish at 4. Yeah, and then I would have a workshop with kids from Lambeth. So all Black boys, they were all like underprivileged areas. You know how it goes, right? So I would tutor them, and I would be like, they're 15, 16, they're looking for their first job. Do you understand? So they're looking for their first job. I would say to them, all right, let's present on this. They wouldn't know. They were shaking. They don't know how to do a presentation. This is what I'm trying to say. School systems. They didn't know how to present. Do you understand? Then I would get the bus and the train to Bromley with these kids from Chislehurst, Bromley Council, right? And I would tutor them. Let me tell you something, yeah? These lot was telling me about Labour and Conservatives. I didn't even know what they was talking about. I was at 23. I was like, how do you look? The agenda of the Labour Party, the agenda of the Conservatives. And I'm like, wow, they're the same age. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're the same age. Do you know how, like,
sorry, go on.
We're at such a disadvantage? It's unbelievable. Like, when people, you know, they say things like, oh, Black people need to pull themselves up from their bootstraps here and get to work. We don't even have boots, brother. We don't have boots. How can the 15-year-old in Chislehurst, yeah, know everything about the government?
Can I add to that? Can I add to that point you're making at the moment? Even for me, you know, obviously we went Northbrook. From Northbrook, I went to Bullerswood, which is a complete 360 of my whole entire life. I went from a kind of poor school background to a very rich school background. And I'll say for me, you know, like when Northbrook, we'd have those little crappy singers coming in singing, singing Northbrook, like, who needs that? That's not going to help my life. Do you know what I mean? But then when I went to Bullerswood, my guest speakers were MPs, lords, investors. Do you know what I mean? That's what you're right. It's the environment, it's catchment, it's everything, and it's about knowing and being aware of these things, and that we are at a disadvantage.
Somebody asked in the comments actually, like, what constitutes for a good school?
Yeah, I was gonna. Oh, we're getting to the Q&As. We're getting to.
That's basically what it is. That's basically what it is.
You answered the question.
People do not understand, and this is why money and money is important. Let me tell you why. Yeah, people always have this debate about class and race. Right, but it's invalid, and I'll tell you why. Yeah, because let's look at London specifically. Most of the underprivileged areas in London are literally, we occupy them. Black people, Black and Asian minority ethnics, we occupy the most underprivileged areas, such as your Catford, your Lewisham, your Hackney, etc. Right, we occupy them. Right, in those areas, do you think they're going to have the best schools? Do you think they're going to have the most resources for those schools? It's not anything to say negatively on those teachers, but the resources that are available in those schools, and we go to school within our catchment area. So from the time you were born, yeah, the school that you go to, you're already at a disadvantage compared to your white counterparts who occupy the richer areas, the places with more resources, the place that every corner shop don't have a chicken shop, you know, it's got a salad bar. Those are the areas that they occupy, yeah? So look at our lives. If we're looking at it down the middle, look at the comparison. And this is just talking generally, right? Because there's obviously anomalies. There's people that have done really well for themselves. But if we're going to cut it down the middle, if you start in a catchment area where your school is going to be crap, that's going to trickle down for the rest of your life. Unless there's something, you know, something can happen in your life. You can have really good guidance. You can have good parents. But let's talk for everybody. Let's talk generally speaking. Say your catchment area is now crap, yeah? So you go to, you're born. You're born in an underprivileged area. You then go to a school that lacks resources. Teachers are stressed. They don't have time. They're not paid as much, etc. We know how this goes. You go to places where you're brought up in a place where there's less social economic opportunity. And not only that, you're raised around people who have lives that are very similar to yourself. And in order for them to now gain and grow, etc., what do? They turn to what's around them. People say black and black crime and that we kill each other off. I'm sorry, yeah. What person who's born in Lewisham is gonna go to where should I even say? going to go to Knightsbridge to stab someone. Everything that happens is within your community. People always say, oh, black and black crime. Your area is black. If you have beef with someone, they're probably going to be in an area where the people are black. Do you understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, everything that you see is within that little bubble that you consume, and that your bedrooms consume, your family consumes, your cousins consume. And unless there's something in your life, like a good parent, a good mother, not even good, someone that has time, because often your parents are stretched. Do you see what I'm saying? So your life is just like this until something happens. Then you end up like not really caring about school because the teachers don't have your time. It's not they're bad teachers. They don't have the time either. They're still in those environments. They want to do better for themselves, etc. They're trying hard, but
so in a way, would you say it's an element of
is under
selfishness involved in that system? Not in a bad way, but selfishness as in, do you feel they're not giving their all to these young people? Like the system's letting them down, so in turn they're just trickling down. So like
I think that I think that we shouldn't apply simple solutions to complex problems. I think that like there's a variety of problems, because we can always say that like, oh, black people are this and black people are that, but we have to. That's why you'll never hear me shouting about how bad black people are, because I understand the background. I understand that had you had the same background, had you had the same upbringing, maybe you wouldn't be on your high horse either. Do you get it? So I feel like there's a variety of reasons as to why the systems aren't working, but yeah, lack of resources. And I think that like it's so hard. It is so hard, because it's really hard to break that cycle. So you've gone to this school where it's under resources, the teachers, you know, boys will always tell you, all the boys that I tutor, all the boys that I mentor, they always say, oh, the teacher don't think I'm anything anyway. Like the teacher already said I'm going to fail.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. Then you literally become that. Does that make sense? So then you're on the streets, or even if you're not on the streets, you're not the most academic. And let me tell you something, yeah. The people that they look up to in the world, like the rappers, and they are the minority. You think you're the minority. The people that are making it in that rap land, the people that, I'm sorry, yeah, this much compared to the people that are out here. So that we have to do things that are tangible. We have to make money. Do you understand?
And just, I had a whole, you know what, I had a whole set guideline questions. I'm just going to throw that out the window now, because I feel like you feel better about this. So we
have to make money.
That's fine. And so, okay, you say we
have to make money, but we also have to have financial literacy.
Let me ask. So you repeated the point of making money, and of course, it's understandable in the community. So I guess as a means of, I guess the question is, as a means, how can you then kind of inspire or get people to make money, or how do they stay in positions to make money, or how do they get to the positions to make money, as you're saying? Because again, as you're right, you're saying that, you're saying, oh, yeah, we have to get money, it's important. The system's set up for us in a lot of ways to be disadvantaged and not get that money. So how do we play that system, from your experience as HR professional, to go and get that money for people of color?
Do we look at it like if you're in the working environment, for example?
Yeah, it could be working life, just in general, going out there and thinking of ways to make money.
I'm going to start from like where the sector that I work in. Yeah, is first of all, we need to educate ourselves in regards to like what our skill set is. That's number one, and we need to understand that this whole thing about, oh, I can't work at 9 to 5. Stop talking rubbish. Or you can't make money if you work at 9 to 5. Let me tell you something, yeah. People, of course, we're at a disadvantage, because a lot of our parents, especially if we're from an African background, we know how it goes: doctor, lawyer, teacher. But that's because those are the or an accountant. Like those are the roles that they know can certify us a standard of living. So to be honest, it was obviously because they're looking out for our best interest. But they don't always have the exposure as to the roles that you can make money. You can make money as a sales guy. You can be on 6 figures if you have that thing about you, have that personality. I always tell everybody, like, there's so many avenues that you can get into. Do you know what I mean? If you have a skill set where you can analyze things, you can be an analyst. The thing is, it's too late by the time that we know that these roles even exist. Like often when you speak to kids like 15, 16 that enter in the job market, even older, they don't know where they fit in regards to what role. And that's why I said that we're already at disadvantage, because a white kid will come to me and say, I want to be a software engineer. Oh, I just want to be a business analyst. And I'll ask a black kid, and they'll be like, what is a business analyst? I'm not joking. Like, and the thing is, it's because the areas that you consume, the place that you are in, the community that you are in, it's that you don't have that type of exposure. So I always say, we have the internet, we have Google. So you can't make that much of an excuse, because the thing is, if you have someone to tell you, why don't you like go onto those ladders and see what fits my skill set? Do you know what I mean? Like, what fits my skill set? What can I do? Even if you don't have. I
was gonna make a point on that, because I was gonna say, I think you made a little bit on that anyway. But accountability, because we can say, we're at disadvantage, but would you not say it's on us as well to want to go and do these things? Like, we can bring it to water, but you've got to drink it. At the end of the day, you have to be
100%.
So
no, let's be real.
challenge
At the
that.
end of the day, that's true. There is accountability. I'm talking about from the beginning as to how we're already at a disadvantage. And obviously something can happen in your life that can make it so that you can find your way. But what I'm saying is, if there's a point that where you get to a certain age, for example, you're like, hey, what should I do now? You have to research your skill set. What am I good at? So that's where I'm going to start. What can I do? That's where I should start. So I think that like you also have to educate yourself as to in regards to the job market and what's out there. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So you have to ensure that you know what is out there for me. What can I do? I think that's really, really important. Like, for example, we had there's one guy that I worked with, one boy that I worked with, he's 16 years old. And he's so good at literally like he can look at something and he has like photographic memory. And he's also somebody that's really good with numbers. And he lacks tedious tasks. Like I can tell that because every time I do like the budget for the week or whatever, he likes to sit down and do that. And I said to him, do you know what? Have you ever thought about like accountancy? And he was just like, what's that? Like, there's so much like people are so disadvantaged because they don't really know. So you sit down with them and say, okay, why don't you Google this? And I said, set it to your homework and come back to me and then tell me what it is that you want to do. And he came back and he was like, oh, actually, this seems like something for me. But I think that like it's really important for people like us, and I import anyone that's in this conversation as well who is enjoying their work and whatever, give back to your community in the place of mentoring. Go to a school and say like, look, I want to mentor some kids. Like, I think that that's a really important thing as well, because I think too often as a community, we think that we have to be in this high position in order to give back. You can give back where you are. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't take nothing from you. It doesn't take nothing. And I feel like we have to take it with, we are so hard on our own community, but we lack the initiative when it comes to helping our community. Like we're our biggest critic.
Why do you think that is?
Oh, come on, we know why. Like white supremacy, like we know why. Like that's not even a. Like, come on, crabs in the barrel. But the thing is, the crabs in the barrel thing comes from somewhere. Like, let's be 100%. It's not right, and the fact that we perpetuate it is also really, really, really bad. But at the same time, it comes from somewhere. Yeah. You see what I'm trying to say? And I feel like it's important for us to see where it comes from. It comes from jealousy, obviously, but it also comes from the fact that there's only like one way to do something called. Do you know what Black people have an issue with? If I'm now in the position that I'm in and I'm making bare money or my salary is really, really high, they think it's a threat to them because that's what we've been taught. We've been taught that there's only one position. That's the thing. And you can even see in the corporate world, I'm in a role and I'm the only Black girl that works in this company. I think I'm the only Black girl that's in the, one of my colleagues is in here that I really love, but she'll tell me if I'm wrong. But I'm probably the only Black person that works in that. Yeah, I am. I had to double think that, like I am. I'm not the only ethnic person. She's the other ethnic person. She's in here. I love her. You know, you bond, innit? But she's the only other ethnic person that works in that particular organization. But what I can remember is that when I went to like this group thing or whatever, the other Black girl, obviously I'm just like, oh, you know, I can see she's a director. I'm thinking, oh my God. And it's like, she didn't want to like pay me any mind. So I think there's that. And it's because you think that there's only one person who can have your job. And that's what we've been taught. We've been taught to think that if somebody else is doing things, you can't do things. That's a really bad way of thinking. And there's that. And also, I think also there's lack of what is it? There's lack of what does representation look like to you? That's the question I'll ask you. What do you think representation
for me, if it was going to be a cross selection of people within a certain area, place, demographic, belief, that's what representation is for me. Representation is just a picture frame. It's not a full view. It's just a picture where it avoids it's anti-generalization, right? But it's just a small picture frame of an intended audience. That's representation to me.
So if you go into an organization, say my brother's like 6'7", he's a big Black guy, he's very tall, but if you go into an organization and you are the only Black person there, what do you think, like when you walk into the organization? Now, what do you look for? Because I can ask you the same question.
So you're saying if I was, you want me to flip it and say if I was looking at me, obviously, well, just based on, perception is everything, right? So if you look upon first gaze, you're going to think, oh, this big Black dude, what's he from? Or he looks a bit rough around the edges, you know? Yeah. Don't really know too much about him. I don't really want to give him a chance. Yeah, you're gonna think, you're gonna assume. When you look at me, you're gonna assume that. You're right. I'm 6'7", I'm 250. Again, I'm dark skinned as well, which adds to that factor. So it's kind of like, perception is everything. So you're gonna look at me first and assume, oh, he's a bit, the worst. And even the way I talk, even the speed at which I talk or the way I talk, you're going to assume the worst. So, yeah. I think that, and this is the thing, I think it comes to like, also, I think a thing with me and Ivan, a way that we were raised is that we don't treat people better than other people based on their job role. So like, if the CEO wants to come and chat, I'm going to talk to him the same way that I speak to
my peers. Do you get it?
I
Like,
think
I'm
that was
not going
mum.
to do any of this.
I think that was mum teaching us always about humbleness. Like, just no matter
Yeah,
who
like
you are,
humbleness, like
you
your
are
job
still,
doesn't
you can
define you,
still
your
get it.
salary doesn't define you, etc.,
Yeah,
etc.
that's true.
Understood, right? I think that the way that can sometimes like be a bit tricky is because what I've actually realized in the job market within the force, right? The more high, especially in the D&I area. So I'm in the diversity and inclusion, and I think it would surprise a lot of people. But within diversity and inclusion, a lot of people, and I implore everyone that is Black to work in these areas, yeah. In diversity and inclusion, the most of the people that advocated for it, or the most of my peers, are white, Caucasian women who are middle-aged. Most of them, bruv, like all of them. And I'm the only Black person within that area. When I do talks, etc., they're the ones that always, literally, always are in that area. My thing is this: I'm not going to code switch for you lot. I'm not going to code switch for you lot. Like, it's not happening. We're here, and that's what they expect from me. And I think that's really difficult. I think this is a difficult conversation anyway. So when I say code switch, they want you to speak how they speak. They want you to talk how they talk. And they even want you to act how they act. And of course, I'm not going to be as comfortable as I am like with my friends. You have to adapt. I'm for adapting. Like, I think that's really important to adapt to your situation, wherever your situation is. However, I think it's really difficult when you enter places where they say, oh, you know, we're all for, you know, Black and Asian minority ethics, and we really want, you know.
I even feel funny if I'm to go into a room and that's the first topic of interest. I've been in plenty of rooms.
Yeah,
Again, you know,
yeah.
my experience. I
Like,
graduate.
oh,
I'm very
yes.
fortunate to
Oh, did you do your
be
hair?
where I've
And
been,
oh
like,
my
but
God, yes, I
going
did
into
do
the room
Africa
and
before, and I love
immediately,
Africa.
but then immediately
Yeah.
addressing the elephant in the room, which could be, of course, color. You're the only Black person in a white space. That's very unnerving. It could be very unnerving. It could be very, it could be very tense as well. It can make a situation that doesn't have to be something. So again,
Yeah.
you're right about that uncomfortable feeling. And again, maybe it's the way we've been socialized or the way we feel about coming from a certain environment. But I definitely feel what you're saying in that regard, to walking into a room and automatically you're feeling tense, and someone says it, and someone says something that can enhance, like kind of
But
enhance that
I
feeling.
think it's also important to educate, and that's why I would like more Black and Asian. The big thing for reason why I wanted to be in this course, because I want people to get into the diversity and inclusion space. Because
Within
I had
HR,
a talk the other day, and it was
human resources.
yeah, like I want people to get into diversity and inclusion space. I think it's really important. But I had a conversation. I was basically giving a talk with 15 white women, all middle class white women, and I was talking to them about the unconscious biases that they may have. And one thing I said to them, because obviously when you talk about diversity and inclusion, people always go on to like women. They love it. Like, oh, let's get more women into the organization. I am a woman, but I am also Black. Let's not forget that fact, yeah? I'm a woman, yes, 100%. I'm here for it. But I'm also Black. Do you understand?
Can I ask a question then in relation to that, in relation to what you're saying? How do you feel about, oh, sorry, having a bit of technical difficulty. Sorry about this. Bear me a moment. Seems to have disconnected. I'm sure everyone can hear. Sorry. Yeah, hello. Hey, sorry, Ivy, cut. Hey, sorry, cut. Hold on, sorry, it completely froze, but I think
You sound
it's back
funny.
now. Hold on.
You sound funny.
It froze. Can you hear me?
You sound funny.
Yeah, I know, likewise.
I sound funny too.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Maybe put the data on.
I'm doing a QA. Can you move? Sorry about that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry,
the
yeah,
Wi-Fi. Wherever you are, it's not right.
Likewise, but I'm not in the house, so hold on.
They can't hear. They can't hear properly.
Yeah, it's saying it's you, Ivy. It's you. It's not me.
Oh no! It says we can hear you, Ivan. Oh, you can't hear me.
Yeah, your phone's cutting out. My don't come from my internet. My internet is good, you know. Come on, we can hear you, Ivan. Ivy's a bit glitchy. All right, sorry. Ivy's gonna come off the Wi-Fi. I think she's gonna go straight to her internet. Sorry, I'm in my car. You never know who's watching, who's gully creeping. All right, we're just having a few technical difficulties, Ivy. All right, Ivy, you're off the Wi-Fi.
No, I'm back.
Yeah, everyone say yeah, that's perfect. Everyone's back me, not you. But yeah, shout out to Timmy, shout out to T, shout out to come on, come on. All right, I'm back. Shout out to Hakeem, come on. Ade, come on. Yeah, everyone's back. We're good. We're back. Can you hear us? Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, everyone can hear me. It's you. All right, we're back. Ivy, so in answer to that question, right?
You listening? I'm frozen.
No, you're fine now. That's old messages. See, that's how you know you're glitching, because there's old messages. You're fine now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
all right, good.
Okay.
All right, Ivy, let me ask you a question.
No, I would say, let me finish my point, because my point was, yeah, I said that I'm a Black woman, yeah, And I was telling these black
You
people
heard
that
that?
I'm a black woman, yeah?
Heard
And the
that,
reason
bro.
why I think it's important, yeah, is because when you walk into, I wake up knowing I'm black in it. Like, I wake up knowing I'm black. So when I get onto a train, for example, I'm aware of my blackness. Does that make sense? Like, I wear it.
Yeah.
I know I'm a black woman. Do you know what I mean? And I asked them, I said, what do you not think when you lot wake up and you have your coffee and your tea? Are you ever aware of your space? Do you ever think to yourself, oh, I'm a white woman? Is that something? They said, no. That's her. No, no, no. And I was like, what do you mean no? And they were like, no, they never ever, they go through life without, sometimes they're reminded that they're a woman. Of course you are. Like when you're walking down the dark alley, when you're leaving work at a certain time, they're reminded that they're a woman, but they're never reminded of their whiteness. And I think with that, it's a privilege within itself. I think it's not that I think about my race, like, oh my God, I'm a black person, let me hide.
Yeah.
It's more of a thing where I'm
But
aware of
it's
who
always
I
in the
am and I'm
background,
aware of
isn't
the
it?
same.
It's always in the
Yeah, but
background,
I
right?
think they need to know that it's a privilege that you don't have to think about it. That you can just take up space freely and you don't have, bruv, when I changed my hair, say I changed my hair then I was going into work, I'd get anxiety because I know that it could be a topic of, not that it will be, but it could be a topic of discussion. Like, oh my God, what? And then you have to kind of prepare yourself for your day. Like it's even a conversation that you have with your girls, like, oh, I've changed my hair. And then she's like, oh my God, like it's long. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So that what I'm trying to say is that even when you explain it down to the little piece, yeah, is that white people need to understand that they are privileged enough to not have to be made aware of their whiteness. That's a privilege, bruv. Because me, I have to be aware of my blackness. I'm always made aware of my blackness. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So yeah, I just want to
Yeah. And so just to answer that, and again, this ties into everything you're saying, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the BAME title? For me, I don't like BAME. I'm black. I don't like BAME. So how do you feel about the BAME title? Which is
Black, Asian, minority, ethnics.
yeah, because I know a lot of people now are starting not to like the BAME title, or they're going against it.
I think the reason why people don't like the BAME title is because Black people and Asian people, of course, we're all minorities, right? But Black and Asian people experience race differently.
Of course.
It's just like we have different experiences. And me as a Black person, I can experience my race in a different way that like you can experience it, or another Black woman can experience it. Does that make sense? We're all unique within our experience. However, Black people have more of a unified experience and Asian people have more of a unified experience. And it's not to say that somebody's is more or less or whatever, it's different. So I think the issue is a lot of Asian people, they come from a place of where it's like education is obviously drilled in, but they also sometimes they have a bit more opportunities just because of like, let's talk about it, generational wealth. They have more generational wealth than Black people. Like it's just the truth. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes they're at an advantage, or sometimes they're at a disadvantage because we know that accents play a part into this. Do you know what I mean? Like we know this. So there's differences. So I think the problem is when you lump Black and Asian minority ethnics together, you assume that we have the same experiences, and it's not. Like we have unique experiences. So yeah, I understand why that's difficult. I think also statistically, when I go into organizations, you always, if you analyze BAME, then the numbers won't ever be too low because Asian people do have like a background in working in finance. They do have more of a background than Black people and a track record of working in corporate London, corporate UK. Black people don't have it as much. But when you look at the statistics and you lump it as BAME, it automatically the percentage is higher. So that can be problematic because then they can say, oh, but we did tick the minority.
That being the main reason. Yeah, that being the main reason.
But the thing is, you didn't for Blacks though, hun. You didn't. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So I think I understand it, but on the flip side, it can also work to our advantage. But I think that it does have to be separated at some point. I think it depends on context because I think within schooling it helps when you do BAME because often like Black and Asian people it depends on the age range. Like we tend to go through similar issues for the most part when it's like when we're younger, we're in the school system. But then I think as you get older, it does change and there are disparities.
Thank you so much for those, Ivy. It was very powerful points, and of course, following on from those kind of questions, I see why, and all of us now see why you're so passionate about HR. And just to say for my sister, again, as much as we have our back and forth, I'm very proud of my sister, and how passionate she is about kind of Black causes and Black issues. And she's had numerous kind of people requesting that she speaks at certain events, because of, again, as you can see how eloquently she states her points. So no, thank you so much for those points. And I want to open the floor now to some of the questions that you've received, as you are popular, who would have known. Ivy, so I have a question from Ash, NAIC, Ashniak.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, do you think it's the state's responsibility to ensure that poorer areas have better education, or is it parents' responsibility to fill the gaps?
Both.
Why?
Both. It's just a collective. I think that it's really important for Oh, it's so hard because the thing, this is why I think it's both, right? Is because the problem is a parent can do their best to ensure that that your child, are we talking about the education system? Like your parent can do their best to make sure that you're in a good school, etc., right? And I think that your parent can do the best in regards to like financially ensure that you're in the best situation, but it doesn't always come to play. And I believe that social economic let me tell you something. I don't believe in integration. That's also very unpopular. I believe that social economic opportunities should be put in all. So if I live in Lewisham, bruv, yeah, I should have the same social economic opportunities as someone that lives in Chislehurst. I should have the same social economic opportunities as someone that lives in Knightsbridge. So I believe that within those areas, right, if we have within our communities better schooling systems, yeah, we don't
So
really
a little
need
bit of liberal Marxism, a little bit of Marxism, a little bit of neo-Marxism.
but the thing is, I'm not being funny, but no one's not telling the Jewish people to integrate. Who tells Jewish people to integrate? Who? They don't integrate. There's Asian communities, there's Southall. People don't always integrate. It's not necessarily a bad thing. We're talking about what's important, which is the social economic opportunities. There's nothing wrong with Black people that want to be around Black people. But what's wrong about it is that as a community, we don't have the same opportunities. Our opportunities are crap. And I think that what Ashley's saying is true. It's just the truth, innit? Like our areas, yeah, we have a lack of resources more than any other areas.
We're always the ones needing to. We're always the charity cases to these people when it comes to grants, pictures, sports, and it sickens me. I don't like the fact that we're associated with poorness, like class.
We
when
are.
you think class, working class, you think poor. First year, you think black. Oh, they're going to help this.
There is nothing in this world that's more expensive than being poor.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing in this world that is more expensive than being poor. Do you understand? Yeah. Because when you are poor, it is so hard. And that's the thing, it goes beyond, monetary. It's also your mind. Do you understand? It's your mind. You are sometimes trapped within those communities in regards to like how far you can go, the heights that you can reach. Do you understand? So I think like, it's so important that, yes, the responsibility does fall on the parents, but it also falls within our schooling systems as well. The government has to do better, right? Exactly. That's what my sister said. The welfare system should be providing an equitable education, 100%. Like, we should be able to be, that shouldn't be something that should just fall on, it's too much of a burden to carry if parents are the ones who have to always have that, you know, we're the ones that have to ensure that our parents educate. What if they also don't have those opportunities available?
The argument to that is obviously, you know, our primary age of socialization, family being the main one. So of course, while I hear your point, should it not be fair that it should start with the family first, as opposed to...
No, but the thing is, I think that's also privilege. If we're saying that it should start with the family first, yeah, we're assuming that it can. That's the problem. You're assuming that it can because of your background, because your mum could. That's wrong, because the thing is, not everybody socialized in the way that you're socialized. But I didn't choose to be, I always tell my mum this, you know, like, I always tell my mum this, like, I didn't choose to be born. Do you understand?
I love that one. Rain, hell, slow. That's how she gets our arguments. I
didn't choose for this. I didn't choose for this. I feel like the welfare system, what my sister's saying, I fully agree. Like, we should be able to have those opportunities as a given. As a good schooling, it should be a given. Do you understand? No matter where you live. So yeah, I believe that it's the welfare system. I believe that also parents, of course, you're responsible in regards to like making sure that you can do the best that you can, but that's advantageous. Like, I think that that's like really being really optimistic. I think that that's not realistic. People have kids when they don't really want to have kids. People have kids when they're kids themselves. Things happen in it. Like, and also we're in this thing of where it's generational, and the cycle of not knowing is like this. I feel like we're like the first generation, who have had like, who can kind of hold this, like, we know what we're doing ish somehow.
I can, you know, it's always, we come from a generation where our parents did their very best. Bless them. Our parents, like our parents before. I'm 28, you're 20. Obviously, our generation. Bless our parents. They've done their absolute very best. But now we are in a position. They sacrificed them. We're in a position now where I know when I have kids, I've got investments ready. I've got this ready. I've got that ready. I've got this. Like, we're more quick to be able to lead generation.
I agree with what Nicole said. Nicole said parents must teach their kids to value education.
Yeah, value education.
I agree with that. That's
we're in better positions.
Different. That's different. It's more of a value system. Does that make sense? Of like what you value, but it's not necessarily them being the ones to like educate, or them being the ones that are responsible for the type of schooling that their kids get. I think that should be a given. But that, again, that's unrealistic because of where we live.
Thank you. But no, and that's a very good point. Thank you. And I've got another question from CJXC11. He said, what do you define as a good area? What is a good environment? What's a good area? What's a good environment to you?
in terms of what area is good, a
So,
good area.
talk about areas being born in certain areas of bad environments that can define who we are. So what's an ideally, what's a good area to you?
Areas where kids, I think a lot of it comes down to like the schools that are in local vicinity. I think a lot of it comes down to the socio-economic opportunities. You can look at catchment areas, you can Google them. Not that I'm not being like dismissive, I'm just saying it's like, if you look at it, if you look at the statistics, you always see Lambeth coming underneath like what is underprivileged. I think that the areas that do not come under the underprivileged line are better areas. Does that make sense? And it doesn't mean that they don't come without their faults. I'm not saying that. Well, I'm saying that there are certain areas within London where there's more access to opportunities, where there's better schooling. So yeah, the areas where there's more resources, better schooling, more socio-economic opportunities. So we know what it's like. We know that some areas have more funding, have more resources, have better schools than other areas. And I think that those areas are better. So yeah.
Okay. And also, so I guess, well, this is a question for me, so I'll read one more, but this is a question from me to you. So obviously, the way we grew up, so the way me and you kind of grew up in our environment, the way we interacted and grew, do you believe, how do you feel like the way we've grown up has affected gender roles? So what a man is supposed to be as a black man or a black woman is supposed to be. You know, I'm going to bait you out with that question. You have to know that I was coming. So what's your view on, I hear it every day, so I want the world to hear. What's your view on how environments played a part in what men deem a man deems a man should be, and what a woman should deem as a woman should be? If that could be going into
with that, yeah, I don't think. Okay, let me be real. I don't think that's so much area as it is black race. If I'm honest, my sister said, "Hey, if I speak, I think it's more race than it is area," and I will tell you why. Yeah, a black woman is taught to carry your shit, my shit.
Sorry, please refrain from swearing. This is child friendly. Sorry, please refrain from swearing. Thanks.
Okay, fine. Your crap, my crap, the next person's crap, the next door neighbor's crap, the guy's upstairs crap, the one from the bottom. Let me carry it on my shoulders for free. Let me hold it as if I'm the person who's asked for all of this. That's what a black woman is supposed to do. A black woman is supposed to experience pain as if it's a given. A black woman is supposed to experience pain and enjoy it. A black woman is supposed to endure all things in order to receive some kind of reciprocal love. That's what a black woman's for. A black woman, in the eyes of literally what it is traditionally somebody who is supposed to just struggle just so that she can get an inkling of love. That's what a black woman's for. A black woman is made to be used. Yeah, and if we can't, God forbid, if we cannot cook and clean, because then we're worthless. What else can we do? Like, what else are we here for? If we can't cook and clean, I mean, we can't do nothing else. And then, oh my God, God forgive if we like nice things. Because you lot don't hail up Hayley, who likes Balenciaga. When Hayley's wearing Fendi, when Hayley's wearing extensions, you lot don't care, do you? Oh, Hayley looks nice with her little attachment. But when a black woman does it, it can't be assimilation. It's cultural appropriation. We just don't love ourselves enough. We should really love ourselves enough. But then when we speak on it, black women are so angry. We can't win. We cannot win. Black women are just a vehicle. From my understanding, this is how I taught it to be, yeah? Black women are a vehicle for pain. And if we cannot endure pain, yeah, then we're worthless. A black man, yeah, obviously. A black man, no, of course you go through stress, you go through pain, but we are always here to back you. It's funny how we're never the object of desire, but always the object of your mum, your sister, your cousin, your bedroom, and somebody else that's supposed to endure pain. But we're not the ones that you lot, generally speaking, are going to go for and be like, she had my back. Maybe I should even, no. Let me go for the mixed race one. No. Let me go for anyone that's outside of that woman, because you've been made to think that better is outside of what you actually have. But it's because you hate yourself. It's because you hate yourself. But it's okay because you've been taught to hate yourself. But the thing is, we have been too. But there's a level of unlearning that needs to be done with the black man. Does that make sense? Because the thing is, I'm not going to sit here and say that. And I have empathy for black men, but black women exhibit that in every day we wake up. We tell you that we have strength for you and power for you because we're here for you. We don't need to be on a live saying, black men, you go through so much. Because guess who goes through it with you? Us. When you go through your stuff, you've got your mum, Ivan, you've got me, you've got SARS, like you've got your cousins, you've got a support system. Exactly. But when a black woman endures pain, she's often by herself. Because let's look at it, single mums.
Oh, sorry, not meaning you. You're not meaning you. Sorry, you're not meaning you per se.
No. I'm not talking. The thing is, I don't have to personally experience something to its depth and extremely for me to know that it exists. That's why I'm different to all these other people who feel like they have to go through some. Listen, yeah, I'm a dark-skinned black woman, yeah, and you don't always have your debates about that. But my sister is darker than me. Does that make sense?
I spoke to you about this yesterday.
No, listen, my sister is much darker than me, yeah? She said, return, I beg. Okay, because they always have debate about it. My sister's darker than me, innit? But I'd say that I'm dark-skinned, she's dark-skinned too, cool. What I've gone through, yeah, as a black woman, no one's ever said to me, oh my God, you're just so dark. But things like that have happened to my sister where they've been like telling Uganda, for example, that she shouldn't tan. Does that make sense? Because of the color of her skin. What I'm trying to make a point of is that she can be black and I can be black, but her experiences of being black are different to my experiences of being black. Does that make sense? So I know that there's nuances within our experience. I ain't got to go through something for me to know it exists. I've never had a problem with getting a black man to like me, ever. Because the black guys that like me, I like them too. Does that make sense? I like who likes me, innit? But that doesn't mean I don't know it exists. I know it exists. I know it's there. I'm not one of those people that have to be like, oh, colorism doesn't exist because it hasn't happened to me, bruv. I know it exists. I know that it's there. And if you open your eyes and not take everything so personally, you can see that it's there. I feel like let me go back to the point of a black man. Yes, black women, we understand everything that you lot go through because we are there. We're there with you. We're side by side with you. We're on the front line with you. So we know what you go through, right? But I feel like what you go through often, and I'm not saying all the time, I think where it's difficult is the toxic masculinity that some women put on men, like the pressures that some women put on men. I think that that's difficult for a man, like the fact that you're always expected to like be at a certain standard when it comes to money and have financial responsibilities and stuff. But I think that the problem is with that, and the reason why sometimes I'm a bit like, with it is because if we look at those expectations, black women also have similar expectations. We have to cook, we have to clean, we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to be subservient, we have to be submissive. So I think that like often it is more leveled.
Sorry, to that point, obviously as a male point, because of course as Sanchez is saying, but no, I wanted to add on to that point. I wanted to let you finish, but no, of course, it's different for us as well. And don't get me wrong, I totally get your points of growing up and having that affection. And I can tell you this, I can attest to you as a black male growing up, as a dark skinned male, we were really as youth, young, growing up. I used to always get, Blickosaurus, blick this, blick, blick this, blick that. We had our fair shares of pain and problems. And as a black man, and as a black woman, there's two things you got to worry about. You got to worry about getting up, and you got to worry about wearing your work suit and in your black suit. You have to worry about two different things growing up as a male. And as a male, mentally, this place, London, environment, a sick environment can make you very sick. I know that from experience as a black male. And I know for me, going out there, there's this expectation is expected of you straight away. From the moment you're born, there's expectation of, oh, you're not supposed to be that way. Oh, you're supposed to beat your stereotype. Oh, you're supposed to beat what we think of you. You have to fight perception on top of fighting what your family think of you, what this thinks of you, and not allowing yourself to really be who you really may be, however that may be. And you know me, I went through those things kind of growing up, and then I got to a point about 21. I just I don't care. You know me, I've lived my life like it's golden since then. But whereas I was one of the lucky ones, black males, to kind of acknowledge and see this cycle that I didn't want to be in mentally because it would have destroyed me. I feel for so many other dark-skinned black men on their experiences, because being a darker, you're automatically deemed as this, the darker you are, the worse you are, the badder the guy you are, the nastier you are, the more violent you are, the more aggressive you are. And it's difficult. It's tough being again, I'm not refuting because it's tougher being a black woman. I'm not going to argue that. But it's very tough being a black male, especially from the experiences we had growing up as male, especially within work life. And I mean this within work life, within dating life. Well, not so much dating. As you grow older, I feel like black men have now become some of the most desirable men on the planet. But
just I'm not trying to cut you, but I'm trying to agree with you.
You're not.
I actually agree with you. I agree with you in the sense
as a black man, it's tiring. It's tiring being a black man. It's tiring. Having to hold, we feel like we have to hold it reminds me of the god Atlas. We're supposed to be, Atlas was the god of endurance. He was represented, known for being enduring. And don't get me wrong, black women are the female Atlas, but it is tiring holding the world on your shoulders when you struggle to hold yourself up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, okay. So you're saying that the reason why black men sometimes struggle to support us is because you lot struggle.
We don't know how to. A lot of reason we feel your disappointment and pains in us. I feel like a lot of decent black men do feel that pain and suffering that women do, but we don't know how. We haven't been emotionally trained to have that rationale to understand how can we help, how can we really support. So I think we retreat or hold back or try to protect ourselves because we think if we try to help, it's not going to do anything. You know what I'm saying? We
Okay.
don't scream over. Yeah, as I just said, we retreat. We don't open up
Yeah.
about our sufferings. We retreat. We run because we weren't taught emotional rationale. We weren't really taught emotional intelligence. But that's men and women anyway. Women are more emotionally
Yeah,
intelligent than men.
that's more men and
Anyways,
women.
so
I think that that's a really good point. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, and I get that we're low key, high key, get on
yeah,
with it.
right.
Yeah,
We low
that's
key, I can
true.
get on with
That's
it.
true.
Yeah,
I think that black men internalize things a bit more. And one thing that I will say for black men, yeah, one thing that I will say for black men is that I feel like it's very brave for you guys to be authentic to yourself and who you are. And that's what I'm most proud about you for, because I
yeah.
feel like
You
you
always say
don't
that.
care. You don't care. I always say this about Ivan. It's my favorite thing about him. He doesn't care what other black boys are doing or what should be expected of him. He lives his life authentically to himself. And I feel like a lot of black men are not authentic to
They're not taught to
themselves.
be
And
expressive.
because they
They're
put
not
up a
taught. A lot of black
facade,
men. I mean, the notion is a lot of black men are this and that. A lot of black men are goofy, fun-loving, willing to
yeah,
be
but they
jokers,
don't lead with that.
but
They
they
want to
don't
act
do
like
that.
they're
They're not
this
sure who they
bigger
really
stuff.
are. They don't.
Yeah, and I feel like it takes a lot of bravery and courage to actually be yourself as a black man. And I feel like, yeah, again, and I think that men in general aren't encouraged to express themselves. But it's
No.
really funny because when you actually look at white men, they are much more free with their emotions and da-da-da-da-da. They are much more free with their emotions. They're more forthcoming with their emotions. And I do think that that has something to do with the black woman and the black man in regards to, like, you have to protect and provide and be this man.
And how
and
can
the
we
black
do that
woman
for
has
you
to,
when we're not even trained how? We don't know how to. We
yeah,
go
and
by
a lot
what
of
we
the
think,
time,
and when we're too proud as men, as a man thing, we're too proud to admit our mistakes. So when we F up, it's like, oh crap, we rather just run away, and it's so hard to apologize because it admits failure, and failure admits weakness to us. Failure is weakness to us, a lot of us.
yeah,
And so we don't want to be
yeah.
deemed as weak because we're expected to be strong all the time. So we feel your pain. We just don't know how to better come across with it or express our pain.
The thing is with black men, yeah, I feel like also with black men, I think a lot of the times that you lot will get frustrated outside because you've got outside frustrations, you've got so much pressure on yourself. But the problem is, and you know I'm going to say it, you lot want to come and bring it home to us.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
understand?
That's
It's
where the
not that you
emotional
can retreat.
intelligence, that's where it goes wrong. That's where we're not trained in
That's
emotional
where it
intelligence.
goes wrong. That's where it goes wrong because it's not fluid. Because you feel so suppressed and you can't say, oh, do you know what? Yeah, I feel really hurt today. Something really bothered me. Yeah, my feelings are hurt. Like, you don't have the dialogue, you don't have the verbiage to express yourself. You don't just, not only do you retreat, you come back and you kind of, like, as most people do, humans alike, innit? But you'll come back and you will take it out on, or you will kind of like perpetuate those feelings because you don't know how to communicate to your black woman. Does that make sense? Or the black woman around you, whatever that looks like. And I think that we ask, like, what is the solution? I think that the solution to it is open and honest, deep conversation. Conversations like this. Do you understand? Like, conversations where you're being free and you're being open enough to discuss, do you know what, yeah? I'm free and I can, do you know what I mean? I can be weak. I can be this. I can be that. So I think we need to obviously go through that. Do you know what I mean? And I think that, like, the problem is, right, this is what I think it's a really big problem with black men and black women as well, yeah, is because, like, we aren't taught to have those conversations and we aren't taught what healthy communication looks like. Because let's be real, a lot of our parents and so on, they haven't been the greatest example of that.
Of open communication. How many of us can actually honestly say our parents have apologized to us over a period of our life?
We haven't been shown what that looks like.
Yeah.
And this is women and men alike. This isn't just black men. This is black women too. Like, we haven't been taught what healthy communication looks like. When something mad goes happen, you brush it underneath the carpet. You don't say sorry. You don't apologize. Your mum might say you can't come home no more to a black. Not that my mum said this because she hasn't, but I'm saying you might say to your son, you can't come back no more. And then the next day you've made him dinner, but you've never discussed what he did wrong. You never sat there and was just like, oh, do you know what, Mama was going through?
You know that poison fester and build and grow.
Yeah. So what happens is you then internalize that is how you should deal with situations. So then when you get a partner, you perpetuate the same thing. So then we're like, oh,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, you then perpetuate it because then you'll meet me, and then you'll be like, I'll meet a guy.
As Nathan said, pride is such a powerful thing in our culture. Pride is so powerful in our cultures.
We don't know how to conversate, and I think that. Don't forget,
pride is the sin. Don't forget, pride is the sin.
That's why white people have had another privilege. That's why white people have another privilege, because they have the freedom. They've had the luxury. They've had the space.
But then, what do you think about this point? You know, when we grow up, I've been around, like, in white people's houses, whatever, and I've heard them say, F you, mother, I hate you, this and that. Fair enough, it's wrong, and we wouldn't do that. But in a way, they're getting their emotion out. They're getting everything out in the open.
They're getting things out in the open, though. No. The reason why it's wrong is because of the verbiage.
It's wrong.
The
Yeah,
fact
the
that
verbiage is wrong. Yeah.
the
Verbiage is
expression
mad.
isn't wrong. The
But the
verbiage
expression
is
isn't
wrong.
wrong. Yeah.
Sometimes I
Expression
think
isn't wrong, though.
I think the most healthiest thing that I've ever seen is like I was in a supermarket and it was a black child. This was like 2 weeks. It wasn't 2 weeks ago. It was probably before the lockdown, obviously. And I was in it was a black dad and a black mum, and the kid had dropped, yeah, and the mum laughed. Do you understand? So the mum laughed. This is a black family. This is something that was just so shocking to me. The mum laughed, like ha ha, like laughing, yeah. The kid gets up and she must have been 4. She turns around to her parents and she goes, I don't like that you laughed.
30 seconds left is gonna cut. Sorry.
Okay.
You're gonna have
She
to
just
carry
said,
some-
I don't like how you laughed because I don't like the way that it made me feel. It made me
Yeah.
feel sad. And I think that's powerful.
I'd like to thank you so much for coming on. Everybody that's laughing and enjoying, please register to Spiela.co.uk. There's a chance to win Spotify's 6-month free membership. Join Spiela, follow us. We've got more engaging, really dope stuff like this. I'll have my sister back on board. Thank you so much for following us. Love you all.